Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. Talk about the X's and O's. Talk and break down for the success of each team.
Slow your roll.
Whether he has something to do with it or not, we are adding that to the clock.
No team gonna freaking run the ball like that. That's challenging your manhood.
Not too much.
People still remember that.
So look, I don't need to hear anything from you, Mike.
It's been a crazy week for college football.
They value seniority.
When they're looking at the schedule, that's a tough schedule. Go beat everyone.
You already know.
Let's go.
You already know.
Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by 216 Mike and your boy Truther. I Know Things 19. Also produced by Walk Cake Disney. What's going on, peoples? How y'all doing? Let us know how you're doing in the chat as well.
Well, it is good. Hey, while I have y'all here, hey, shout out to Disney. While I have y'all here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. We are coming to you at Best Damn Media all week throughout the week with content, so make sure you are tuned in. We appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. We got a lot going on. Last night was a big night with the CFP rankings coming out, but before we get into that, let's jump into some scandal talk. Why not? So who is not talking about the Michigan scandal right now is the real question.
Not me. I ain't said a word.
Kim said, not at all. So it's definitely been getting a lot of traction lately and new information coming out regarding Connor Stallion, who was seen on the Central Michigan side in there on September 1st, where Michigan was playing Central Michigan. So on September 2nd. So that was about, 2 months ago?
Yep.
I want to say. So it looks like, I feel like as this continues to go on and we don't hear anything from the Big Ten or college football staff, that more people will bring more things to the light or find more evidence allegedly, of him being on the sideline and sign stealing and different things like that. So Cam, I know you haven't been talking about this at all. So the people really want to hear from you. What's your thoughts on this?
I just think the story is just more and more interesting as it goes on. And I think that it's interesting that we see now the national media kind of picking up on this story, like Stephen A. Smith and guys like that. Paul Feinbaum said the other day that today actually that this was him giving Jim Harbaugh the benefit of the doubt happened to be one of the biggest mistakes of his career. So for someone like Paul Feinbaum, who's been doing this shit since before I was even in diapers, to associate this situation with the biggest mistake in his career, what does he know and what is he referring to? And why does he regret so much of giving Jim Harbaugh that benefit of doubt? Now, Disney, you know that me personally, that was my take 3 episodes ago when I said, why are we assuming that Jim Harbaugh is not capable of what he's been accused of? So the main issue that I'm having with is them trying to say that Jim Harbaugh didn't have a personal relationship with this kid. There's multiple videos since 2021 of his coordinators being next to this guy on the hip of Jim Harbaugh.
I think we have that video. So let's go ahead and I'm about to play that video that you're talking about for the folks, man. This is the video that Cam is talking about back in 2021. Mind you, that team up north, they got their butts whooped in the locker room by Michigan State, right? So this game that I'm posting is of the don't get confused because yes, it was reported before they played Michigan State, and he obviously wasn't on the sidelines. You're going to see him on the sidelines of Michigan State. That's how we know this is 2021. Here.
All right, Kevin, thanks.
There you go.
Who is he taking his headset off to listen to, Mike? Disney? You got any idea? Because I know from my experience,
he was looking dead at the guy. And I mean, the guy was obviously talking to their offensive coordinator, Sharon Moore. Is that, I mean, like I said, from the beginning, Cam, all of these coaches knew, especially the DCs and the OC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just like, man, you know, they talk about this Michigan man and this integrity and shit, but it's really looking like Michigan man. Be a man, stand on your shit. Like, if you did it, say, yeah, I fucking did it. Like, be a man about the shit. Where's your integrity?
The other aspect of all of this is, you know, giving us a different insight. Tony Petitti just got just replacing Kevin Warren as the Big Ten commissioner. He's getting pressure from national media to say a statement. And imagine being him right now. You were brought here, getting pats on the back and being congratulated for being a top TV exec with the MLB and working for NBC. And you were brought here to make these contracts and bring money to the Big Ten. And your first issue on the table is the school that founded the conference, Michigan, is in one of the biggest alleged scandals in college football history. And you and people are looking at you to not make a deal, to not do what you were basically brought here to do, but to be that Kevin Warren or type of guy to uphold the standards. I think that this is going to be a big sign to come about what are the things that are going to change in the Big Ten. Are we going to go more towards that SEC style where it's just kind of like, you know, no harm, no foul, and it's just every man for themselves, and we're just out here cowboying it up, and we lose that good old boy type of look up here up north? That, you know, Disney, how y'all look at us at the Big Ten like we're too good, goody two shoes, all about academics.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, the way that this commissioner handles this is really going to let the nation know what going forward, what matters to the Big Ten. Is it integrity? Is it tradition? Or are we worried about ratings and you know, money? And I can see both sides to this. So it's going to be interesting because we're all waiting for a statement from the Big Ten.
Is it a blessing and a? Oh, sorry, Mike.
No, I feel like you can do both. Like, go ahead, Diz.
No. Well, I was just going to follow up because you were talking about ratings and different things like that. So is it a blessing and a curse for the Big Ten? Like, will more people tune in to some of these games because of what's going on?
I think that Ohio State Michigan game, if we're both undefeated, is going to do playoff numbers.
And it's going to do numbers. I definitely think it's going to do numbers.
20 million at least. Easily.
I mean, here's my thing about the Big Ten commissioner, because you can be worried about ratings, you can be worried about money, but you also should be worried about in your conference the integrity and the morals. And the reason why I say that is if you're not going to do anything, what does this tell every other school? Go ahead, do it. Just don't put your names on the checks, right? Just don't make the payments public. I honestly think that maybe this could possibly hurt some TV deals or whatever. I mean, you're talking about, we don't know the extent of this. We don't even know, like, what if Vegas got something to say about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this, and here's the thing. You talking about this money and all of this stuff, right? The money for the Big Ten. So you get the ratings, but the Big Ten conference also gets a bonus if, you know, a team makes the playoffs, right? So now you're talking about possibly having to turn that money back in if it's non and void. Like, my thing is this: if you wait till the NCAA comes back with whatever they determine, do you have to pay that money back that you received? Is it now is going to be an asterisk next to it? So really, if they won the CFP or if they won the Big Ten, you really don't have them as the winners. Let's say they go play Nebraska. So now we're going to say that Nebraska is the Big Ten champs because now their win is vacated? That makes no sense to me.
that's alluding to what Stephen A was saying this morning on First Take, that even like the Big Ten is just like they're expecting everyone to just forget this and let it go. He said every single win, the national media is going to be like, did they have an unfair advantage in anything that they're doing moving forward, and that they're not going to forget. So Michigan fans will say to us, Mike, oh, we're scared to play them. It's like, no, like we look like clowns. Our whole conference looks like clowns because we have people outside the conference saying they don't trust the shit that they're seeing with Michigan until our conference basically says no harm, no foul. Right. But until then, there's just a big asterisk on everything that we're doing as a conference. So we just right now it's just message board wars, and everyone's finding new evidence, and it's just like somebody has to say something because like my boy Ron James said, he said if nothing's done or said by Saturday when they play Purdue, that's a message within itself, and nothing's going to happen this season. So we'll see.
Yep. And that's the thing, bro. Like my thing is you don't just represent the big when you say you represent the Big Ten, you don't just represent one school, right? So yeah, you could talk about oh, is this gonna hurt numbers and all of this stuff? But what about every single other institution? You got Oregon and Washington coming in, right? We know how the Big Ten does things with their TV contracts and these new teams coming in and things like that. Like they work out a clause where they might not get the full amount and all of this stuff. But you got these new teams coming in. What message are you going to send to them? I mean, because they were scouted. We know it, right? Or it's allegedly been reported that they were scouted. So, I mean, now, they'll obviously have a heads up coming into the Big Ten, but let's talk about in the Big Ten, how many coaches were affected? How many coaches got fired or moved on? Let's talk about players. How many players could have had better draft stocks if they had made a bowl game? I mean right. And then you talk about like somebody posted the 2020 them overtime in Rutgers. I think Zach Smith and Chris on Menace today was like breaking down the blue chip ratio. And so it's like nothing's really changed when you're talking about the players. Nothing's really changed when you're talking about the head coach. I can see you getting other coaches in, but to make you this much better. And Cam, there's something that I want to talk to you about because I got these people on social media, especially on Facebook, because they're under the impression,
Facebook.
Yeah, especially it's a couple of
Mike
football chats I'm in, bro.
Pull up on Mike on Facebook, man. Holding it down.
Yeah. And then, bro, they're literally saying, "Oh, well, Ryan Day knew before the game that that they were going to that we were stealing signals or whatever. He had time to change it." Now, I was going to bring another college player on here, but he wasn't available. But you played college, Cam. And, when I was talking to him, he was saying, bro, there is no way with the limited time that the coaches have for us to get practice in and change all of them signals. Mind you, you're talking about they stole 8 games worth of fucking signals. So it's like, oh, if you change your signals throughout the season and all of that stuff, right? You still got 8 games of like, oh, this is what they changed to. This is what they did. And we heard about the database, right? Now, Cam, talk to me about that. Like, is it possible to change all of your signals? Like, I understand before a game you could change a few, but the whole entire signal scheme, that's impossible to do in the middle of a season, a regular season.
No, you can't do that. I mean, that's why things like spring ball was implemented. Like, there was more time that was needed to put in like your day one install. And then like Jim Knowles last year, he would talk about how like they didn't even have enough time in one season to learn the defense in the entirety, let alone teach someone a defense, and let alone put in a game plan and then change the signals up every week to the extent to where they had knowledge. So for instance, what will happen is say if I'm playing Mike in football, right? and we're running a few plays, and it's kind of like shady. We're like, oh, okay, like they're catching on to our 12 personnel signaling or certain concept that we want to run. Mm-hmm. So we'll switch up that sign at halftime or something like that, or maybe we'll switch up a couple whatever's like during the week. But what Michigan is doing in hindsight is, or what they did is, they had entire schemes and entire plethora of signals. So, for instance, for the people that says just change your signals, right? Week 1, we were using signals, right? And then we switched them up week 3. And then we switched them up week 5. And then we switched them up week 7. They have film of all of that. Exactly. So we could have switched our films up. We could have switched our signs up 10 times before we played Michigan, and they seen every single variation and will sit in a room and be able to decipher what the new sign is in real time with a big ass binder of 30 different signals and say, oh, that signal, okay, I seen that. We're going to mark that. That's a real signal that they're using for this game. Mm-hmm. And throughout time, they'll be able to mark the signals that we're using for that day. And then, what do you know? They come out on halftime, all of a sudden they're a new fucking team. They're the greatest team you ever seen because they figured out this week what signals we're using. It could have been the ones we used week 5. It could have been the ones we used week 8. But they have them all. So I don't understand why people are saying just change your signals. It doesn't fucking matter if they're filming every single game that you fucking played all season. It doesn't matter.
And when you have the signals to actually match the play as well, like that's a big thing, right? And before we start showing these other photos that Disney got of Connor Stallion that I want to get into, bro, I also want to talk like that database that you were talking about, Cam, when you were breaking down like the first half into the second half, like you were saying, like, okay, they switched this up, you writing all of that down. And what have we seen the past few years out of Michigan? They have been dominant in the second half.
Like abnormally dominant.
And we're sitting here trying to figure out how CJ Stroud carved up Georgia, knowing that they got a better D-line, better DBs, better linebackers, and how CJ Stroud in the NFL over here breaking records, carving up NFL DBs, safeties, linebackers, all of that, but couldn't do it up against Michigan. Make it make sense. I mean, I'm trying because everything that all of these people keep coming up with, you yourself a former college football player, other former college football coaches have debunked all of this bullshit.
That Ohio State offense, let me think. 1, 2, 3. They're going to probably have 6 NFL starters as rookies that played on that Ohio State offense. And they held them to 3 points and gave up 30 to TCU in the second half in the same season. So,
yeah,
do with that information what you will, bro.
That's crazy.
Shout out Sonny Dykes and Garrett Riley, bro.
Hey, but we got to talk about the new evidence that came out because Cam, this was just crazy. Like, we know about him sitting on the sidelines, but we got to get into these glasses because that shit is crazy. Disney, can you bring up them glasses for me? Now let's break down these glasses.
Is it confirmed this is him for real?
Bro, honestly, I'll tell you this, Cam. I'm confirming allegedly it's him. And I'm going to tell you why. I went through their entire roster, Cam. The coaching staff roster, right? Didn't see one guy that resembles that person that's on that screen. I had the screen up, looking at him, and every coach that I pulled up. I can't find the guy. I can't find nobody that looks like this guy. Not one. Not one. Here's the thing. Let's also talk about what Disney. Do you got the audio of Jim McElwain?
Let me see. Hold that thought.
What, him butt naked on a fish?
I mean, if you don't, Disney, don't worry about it. Because we know what he said. He said, we know about the picture circulating of the sign-stealing guy. Not of alleged sign-stealing guy. Not of possible sign-stealing guy. Of the sign-stealing guy. is what he said.
He also said that the name College Stallions did not receive a pass that day. So I don't know if he's a fake ID.
I mean, but you could put it under a different name. That's nothing.
You really could. Yeah.
So because here's my thing. He's standing by 2 coaches. Don't nobody know who he is. Everybody on the coaching staff got on Adidas, but he the only one with Nikes. There's something fishy going on. And Disney, do you got that red dot circle?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's pull that up, man. On this, I actually want to kind of put this one at full screen so people can see this. Do you see this light up here on the left side of the glasses? Yeah, that goes back to this photo. No, not that photo. Where's the other photo at?
That is it.
That is it. Okay, my bad. Okay, there's a light right there on the Ray-Bans that you can see inside the glasses. Like, that's why you see that light. And then everybody was trying to say that this right here, this what everybody was calling the blue light, they tried to say, oh no, that's the Ray-Bans logo. No, Ray-Bans makes a camera, and it's actually a blue light.
And it's nighttime.
And it's nighttime, and you got sunglasses on, bro. And then we saw when they whipped the camera like from up top and stuff, and the player was running out of bounds. What he do? Put his head straight down, bro.
I don't know, man.
Come on, guys.
I'm just at the point, bro. Like, we seen what we seen. We know what we know. NCAA is gonna take forever. We looking at Tom Petitti or Petitti. I don't know how to say his name, but we looking at Tony to do something, bro. The Big Ten is the only body of power that could do anything or say anything regarding the case. Say something, do something. They play Saturday. If not, like, you're just letting down a lot of people. They did a study that showed that 94% of college football coaches feel like Michigan should be punished and that they are guilty of what they're being associated with. So
$300 glasses.
That's ridiculous.
Let's see something out of the Big Ten. So
I feel like I'm turning.
And I ain't gonna lie, we about to turn the heat up right here on the fans. There, we about to turn the heat up on the Big Ten. Big Ten, drop your fucking nuts if you got any, bruh. God damn.
I'm starting to turn into Cam. Like, I need a decision. I need something. The rankings came out.
We got a Michigan fan in the chat.
We're not about to go into the college football playoffs with the possibility of Michigan sign stealing stuff and knowing our place and different things. Like, that's some bullshit. We need to go ahead and wrap this shit up, make a decision so we can continue playing football and get back to it. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's frustrating.
And another thing I wanted to point out about this. They seem to be trying to push the narrative that Jim Harbaugh had no relationship with this guy and didn't know him. I want to let you know right now that I'm not buying that. There's no way that this guy is getting access on away games, holding information regarding play calling, speaking to offensive coordinators, and never had any type of relationship with Jim Harbaugh. It's already been confirmed via his memoir or his memo or whatever he what do you call a manifesto.
He's best friends with his son.
Yeah, he's best friends with Jay Harbaugh, and he's on Jim Harbaugh's sideline. So I don't know.
And we saw in 2021 he took his headset off so he could hear what Stallion was telling Sharon Moore.
So I mean, this whole situation that this guy is just a random and he's not part of the program, and Jim Harbaugh don't talk to him. I'm not buying it. So like we said before, the Big Ten, we need to see something. So fast.
All right.
Mike, you did ask a question, or you were talking earlier about what's worse?
The pain or the hangover?
What's worse? On field, what's worse? On field cheating or off field cheating? Like, Cam, I kind of want to hear this from you because you're a former college football player. Like, I mean, we know everybody out here is trying to get some type of advantage, but I mean, we've heard of all the off-field cheating before, but which one do you think is worse, off-field or on-field cheating?
I feel like on-field cheating, like it's the only way you could do off-field cheating is if like you took a PEDs or something, or you played a player that shouldn't have played. But at the end of the day, as a competitor, I'm thinking like that player's on your team. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody played that's not supposed to play, whatever, he's still on your team. He's still a player that's a part of the team. Like that's nothing I'm going to trip about. I'm never going to trip about like, oh, like y'all played your starting right guard when he really had. That's why you hear Ohio State fans like not seriously take any. We didn't say anything about Mozzie Smith getting a gun charge and still playing in the game because we were just like, bro, who cares? Like that's your starting nose guard. Like we may troll or whatever, but like that didn't become a national thing. Like
we want to beat y'all at y'all best anyway.
Exactly. But knowing the plays is and putting me as a competitor at a disadvantage for some other niggas that are trash is not acceptable. And I say that lightly because I watched the game in person and I'm just like these kids at Michigan are just not. They don't pop off the screen. They're not faster. They're not stronger. They're not like they're just always in the right position. And for the entire first half of the season, I'm just like, man, they were really outcoached. Like we're ripping Ryan Day. But to see that for a team to know exactly what you're doing on a play is way worse than any other type of cheating. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, and I was thinking about like when I was saying like off field, I was thinking like, the stuff we heard about players getting money and things like that. Like, I mean, honestly, like I've never had an issue with the players getting money. Because I grew up, bro. I grew up in Cleveland, bro. Like I know where these kids come from and stuff. Like, I played against Ray Smalls. Like I was a sophomore, he was a senior. Like it was in my neighborhood. Like I grew up in the Glenville neighborhood. So that was like the first neighborhood I ever lived in my beginning of my life before I moved into a different one. But I mean, people just don't understand. Like, I have never had an issue with these players getting money. But
yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Des. What do you think?
Oh, I was just about to say, I know back in my day, they said if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying hard enough. But this is football. This is something completely different. Like Kim, I would agree with everything you say. I mean, as a player for you, or in any sport, you giving your all, you learning plays, you're doing your best. And then in the second winning in the second half, things switch. You're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
So that could just be hard.
And it's not
disheartening as a player,
right?
Yourself, so.
And it's not like a like they're making crazy plays. Like it's just like it's just always in the right position. Like just
exactly.
Yeah. So
reading every single thing.
And before we move on to our next segment, man, I want to make sure that y'all hitting that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you are sharing. Send this to your mom, your dad, your uncle, your auntie, your cousins. Post it in all them group chats. Help us grow this platform. We appreciate y'all, man.
Oh, another red flag that's very, very under talked about all of this is me personally, where I think tipped off is they, for the last 2 years, have scored 9 points over the Vegas spread average that they have for the games. So they have absolutely been crushing Vegas and their predictions for every game for the last 2 years. So that's always going to raise the red flag. But let's move on.
Hey, shout out to my guy 216. Yeah, I remember Pile 6. I actually played for Sims Raiders. That was when I moved out there to the Collinwood area. I played for Sims Raiders. But yeah, Pile 6, everybody know they was one of them teams in Muni League for sure.
I didn't even know Shaker Heights was balling like that. That's
not too much, man. Ain't had no heights in my area code or on my address. Man. Stop playing, cuz.
Up in the Heights. Hey, but we're gonna move on. Let's do some week 9 recap. We had Utah.
Ooh, they cooked me on that, Diz. I lied so bad. Oh my goodness, I lied.
Yeah, that's something that you just don't see you just don't see or
Me
didn't
lying?
expect that. You're talking about going into Utah and doing what they did. I was like, the game just got out of hand. I'm like, okay, they scored quick on them. Utah keep it in the game. No, sir. Like, I'm not honestly, like, I think I remember saying, like, if Cam Rising was in this game, I probably would for sure say that they're gonna win it. But the way Oregon was playing, I'm not even sure about that, man. Shout out to Oregon, shout out to Dan Lanning, because they look a whole lot better coming off of that loss, coming off of a close game as well that they had. So shout out to Dan Lanning and what he's doing with that Oregon team.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Dan Lanning just got them boys teed up, man. They look like a well-oiled machine. I got them winning. I had Washington winning the Pac-12, bro, but it looked like I don't know if they're gonna be able to beat Oregon in a rematch right now. It's very hard to beat a team in a rematch, especially a rival that's bitter in the way they lost. I don't think anybody in the Pac-12 wants to play Oregon. So if I'm Washington, I'm hoping they get clipped before they got to play a rematch with them.
Hey, like I said, if it was Oregon and Washington on a neutral field, I'm taking Oregon all day, because what did they win by? Like 3 points, and like Vegas gives you 3 points. Like, I mean, that game came down to the wire, bro. Shout out to the 12th man in Washington.
Utah also super hurt too, so they got a lot of injuries all over.
They have a lot of injuries. Yeah. It looks like the offense definitely has something to figure out. They say Oregon and Michigan are the most impressive team right now.
Not impressive.
I say Oregon. I can't say that, like, they got the 110th something like strength of schedule. Like, 111. Sorry, I mean, my bad for giving them one, but I mean, you played nobody. You look, I mean, and we heard about Penn State. Everybody picked Penn State to finally upset Ohio State and all of this shit, because they were very impressive, winning their games, playing nobody. So I really want to see what it looked like when they finally play somebody.
For sure.
Yeah. Can't really rate Michigan right now with the Stallions situation. I need to see them moving forward. I'm extremely excited to see how James Franklin's going to adjust to this game that they play in 2 weeks. I want to see how that goes, especially seeing Drew Aller kind of come out of shell a little bit, even though it's a close game against Indiana, but we started seeing him kind of taking vertical shots. I want to see if that helps put some new wrinkles in our offense.
Hey, what them Penn State fans say about us in our week 1 game against Indiana? That's crazy. Crazy.
So it looks like the Cardinals just dominated Duke as well. They failed to capitalize. The Cardinals won the top 20 matchup over the Blue Devils and claimed the sole possession of second in the ACC standings. So they are one to compete with. They came in with a big response after letting down their team and fans to Pitt, and it looks like defense will work on the Blue Devils in this matchup here. So I never thought Duke was a football team to begin with, so I didn't think they were going to win. But this was actually watched part of this game and I turned off. So that's my thoughts on this. Cam, what's your take on this?
I picked Louisville to win. I mean, I said exactly what I thought was going to happen is they've dominated them in the trenches in that run game. They got a serious run attack over there in Louisville. They caught Notre Dame on a third road game in a row, and then I just saw them dominate Notre Dame's front ups and get a dub out of there. Now, Notre Dame, the same team that beat Louisville, Pitt, they just beat them boys by 51. I want the nation to know Notre Dame is low-key rolling folks right now. And Ohio State went in there and got a dub. The haters ain't paying attention to that, but the committee is. Notre Dame is a lot better than folks is giving motherfuckers credit for this year. And watch how strong they finish as a New Year's 6 team. Watch out for them, bro, because they are absolutely smacking motherfuckers right now.
Yeah, shout out Doug in the chat, because that's exactly what I was about to say. Doug took the words right out my mouth. Louisville is one of them bipolar teams. You just don't know what you're going to get out of them. But shout out to Jeff Brown. I think in a couple years he gonna have that team ranked. I think it's also amazing they look better than Clemson. So shout out to them and Jeff Brown. Damn, Big Ten coach came down there and took over Dabo's track. What's up?
Yep, took over the ACC. Where is Dabo?
Don't even get me started on Dabo. We might have to have a whole nother show for a Dabo talk, bro. Because the same people who had all that hate and that energy for Coach Prime is quiet as hell when it comes to this Dabo. Bro, man, don't even get me started. What's next, man?
Fuck that, Mike. Yeah, they was all quiet.
Yeah, okay, let's get it.
Let's go. Let's get into it. I was talking about the fall season.
You know what I'm saying? Dabo can be sassy and all that shit when he 4-4 with the 5th talented roster in a nation, because you know what I'm saying. But when Prime take over a squad, and I won a game in a year, he get a little sassy because you know he feeling the type of way after a loss. It's because he this and he that, he brash, and it's all about him and he cocky. Where's the energy for Dabo? We've been saying Dabo's a fucking dweeb for years. He's been a dweeb for years. He just don't got a Trevor Lawrence or a Deshaun Watson to cover up his dweebness. He's a dork. He's a dweeb. He's been this guy, and now his program's on a decline. And I wouldn't be surprised if motherfuckers start looking at other ways to get this shit back on track, bro. Because they feel like this recruiting class that they got coming in is going to save the sinking ship of Clemson, but they got a talented roster right now, and the shit ain't clicking. So I need the same energy for Prime that they have for Dabo. Go ahead, Mike.
No, man, I think Doug is in my house. That's why I keep looking over my shoulder, because I was about to say the same thing, Doug. I think that Dabo's an elitist. Like, and I have been saying this, and people and their fans have been coming at me crazy, but this guy has never shown that he cares about the players. He's been upfront about that. When they wanted to protest, they couldn't protest. It wasn't until Trevor Lawrence came out and said, I back the rest of my players. We should protest, and then he was cool with it all of a sudden. Like, Dabo is a trash human being and a trash coach. I have a 3-year-old son. My son if Dabo ever tried to come in my house, he would not be able to come in my house at all. Don't send us no letter, no nothing. I don't care where you're coaching at, bro. And for all the people who saying, understand, Dabo's the reason why Clemson is what it is. Yes, Dabo is also the reason why Clemson is where it is now, because of him. And don't nobody want to call him out on that. And a fan called in to his show. Why are you doing a call-in show if you just going to be so upset and go off on your fan? All he asked is, what is going on? And why wouldn't he? Y'all are top in recruiting. You're supposed to be a top program, and you're in a shitty-ass ACC. And then you go off on a fan talking about why don't you apply for the job? And then he comes out on another one and saying, we shouldn't be attacking each other and all of this stuff, and everybody's just attacking me. You attacked the fucking fan for asking a simple question. What's wrong with the fucking program? Something's wrong. You bring in a OC that was at TCU that had this elite offense and tell him, no, you're not running that offense. We're running the Clemson offense. So, and then you don't like the transfer portal, but it was okay for you to send DJU in the transfer portal. Now DJU look like a 10 times better quarterback than the shit you got at Clemson that you pushed him out for. Fuck Dabo Swinney. And put me on the record. Shit. Fuck
Put him
Dabo.
on the record, man. Put him on the record.
Hell yeah.
They got smoke for Dabo. They got smoke for Dabo.
Yeah, I got hella smoke for Dabo. Fuck Dabo.
Dabo, you are not safe. Just to let you know. You know.
He's a clown, even bro.
Non-fans of Clemson are like, fuck
clown
Dabo.
boot.
Is
clown
definitely.
boot.
And of course, Florida falls to Georgia 43-20 in the swamp. I am not surprised by this. Georgia is dominant in what they do, and they are really getting into SEC play. So and things are getting ready to heat up. So I'm really interested to see how Georgia is going to make it out this season. But we'll get a little bit more into that because tonight we are talking about the rankings, college football playoff rankings that came out yesterday. So Mike, Cam, did any one of you catch this game? Did you see anything impressive from Georgia?
Oh yeah, shit. Georgia looked like they was rolling, man. Looked like they got things together a little bit. The running game was looking good. Carson Beck was looking all right. But what we say about Graham Mertz? What we say about Florida, man? Florida looked like Florida to me. So I mean, Georgia went in there, did what they were supposed to do.
Georgia looked great. Don't let me know. Georgia looked great, but I think that Florida's defense looked more so badly coached than Georgia was rolling. That Corey Raymond, seat gotta be hot. That they were just, if you're letting Ladd McConkey catch a 10-yard dig and cribbing it for another 60 yards, like you got problems. So they just looked like they weren't very well coached. They looked like they didn't really have a clue about what they were trying to do as a defense. And I mean, I like what Florida was trying to do on a run game. I feel like on offense, they could have really had a better plan going forward. Like I said earlier, Mike, what did I say? I said, if you're Florida, the plan is to get it between a 1-score game, maybe 10 points going into the fourth quarter, based off of the way they like to run offense, because they're like the more of a dink and dunk and they like to run the ball. But once the defense allowed that game to get out of hand, Florida's offense really isn't equipped to be in a shootout type situation. And we just saw them try to press and be something or not, and then just turned into a blowout. So I just think they got out coached on defense, which kind of led to mishaps on offense.
It don't matter, Cam. Florida fans wasn't even watching the game when it went into the second half. They was watching Swamp Kings, still thinking Urban and shit. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. But this is the same Florida team we seen get their hands put on by the team that Oregon just put on a hub. So who knows? Maybe they just scrub it abs.
Depending on the week. All right. As y'all know, the CFP rankings came out last night. Ohio State came in on top of Georgia, to some people's surprise. Michigan came in third. Hopefully that changes if we can get a ruling, something, someone get fired, something. Florida State came in fourth, Washington fifth, Oregon, Texas, Bama, Oklahoma, then Ole Miss at the end. So at the criteria. So they look at, wins. And the reason why Ohio State came in on top, they said we looked at it, and the big win over Notre Dame and the win over Penn State, and they have different makers on offense. We looked at it, and Ohio State deserves to be number one. So
I think that's bullshit, Diz. Really? I don't think it's bullshit that we're number one. I think that we are deserving of number one, because if you're Michigan and you're Georgia, you don't get to sit back and tell us how we looked against the 15th ranked schedule and we have the number one strength of record. I don't give a fuck if we won by 1 or whatever. We're playing teams with a pulse. We're playing teams that who's trying to do shit, who's trying to make it to bowl games, and that's trying to progress. You're playing a bunch of teams that's just getting their ass whipped week in, week out. I don't respect that. And another thing, how are you going to have us number one because of our resume, but then rank Georgia and Michigan above Florida State and Washington?
Ooh.
How does that make sense? How does our resume matter, but Florida State and Washington both have top higher ranked wins in both of them, both undefeated, but they're not in the top 4. Georgia should be number 5, and Michigan should be number 6. And then how was Texas ranked above Oklahoma?
Thank you.
Exactly.
That was about to be my point, boy.
Texas should be 9. Texas should be 9. Bama should be 7. Or no, I mean Oklahoma should be above both of them.
I think it's like, the committee said, like he said out of his own mouth, head-to-head matters. I think it's also in the criteria as well. It's just, I mean, I can say, oh, they're like, who has the better win? If you want to say who has the better win by the way y'all rank them right now, it would still be Oklahoma.
Right. It would definitely be Oklahoma.
Yeah, it would still be Oklahoma who has the better win. You can talk about, I mean, I guess they ranked them there. They probably have the worst loss. But if head-to-head matters and worst loss isn't even in the criteria, then what the fuck are we talking about? And like Cam said, Cam made great points, man. I mean, Florida State had to go knock off an LSU, right? Washington, who they have to, I mean, I understand that they struggled against a Stanford team, but they still beat Oregon. Name me someone in the top, what? In the top 10 or the top 15 that team up north has beat. Or that Georgia hasn't even played Mizzou.
Nope.
And so they line up this week, but they haven't played them.
Mike, and do you agree with them putting Ole Miss in the top 10? I watched the Ole Miss team struggle with trash ass Arkansas and squeeze out a win by 7. I watched them struggle with Auburn and win by 7. Like I've watched Ole Miss look regular. I mean, I'm assuming that they're hyping them up because of the ranked win against Tulane. But I mean, the other in the game against LSU, I guess LSU was the shootout with LSU. The 2 ranked wins, I guess, gets them there. But I mean, LSU's a 2-loss team. Like we're just getting into a situation where I feel like they're just very, very highly rating the SEC, and they're setting it up for Georgia to be that number 1 seed. We all see it. They're going to set them up with the Mizzou. Ole Miss is going to be a top 10 matchup. And they're going to end up playing Alabama or LSU in a championship, and it's going to be the strength of schedule record. And they're also, I feel like they're trying to boost that 100 whatever schedule, backload it with ranked teams, so in case they lose, they can get 2 SEC teams in the playoff. Because at this point, if Georgia loses a game, I don't know how you could say that they should be a playoff team along with Michigan. So I just think there's a lot riding on the backloaded schedule of Georgia, and I just think that the way that the rankings was set up, I feel like it's very advantageous for them to be able to make a poor man's plea in case of a loss to make the playoff regardless.
Yeah, man. And then you got all of these 2-loss teams in there. Some of them about to end up taking their third. We know this week, and we know how they're gonna do, bro. This SEC crap, bro. This bias is ridiculous when we've already proven how top heavy just about every conference is, and then they always want to put these freaking teams in just for a resume builder. I think it's just BS, but I mean, Big Ten, SEC, the 2 best conferences in college football. Honestly, one thing that I know about the committee, the way that they're trying to do this is viewership numbers. I was probably one of the biggest Ohio State fans that was pounding my fist on the table in 2016 saying Ohio State ain't got no business being in the CFP. And it backed me up with a 31 goose egg score. So, I mean, committee's all about viewership. That's what it's about, man. Because remember in 2015, that viewership took a nosedive from the first year. So
absolutely it did.
Definitely did. All I'm going to say is fuck the CFP. They did the same shit last year with Tennessee and Alabama, and they ranked Alabama ahead of Tennessee, and we beat them. So,
yeah.
They don't mean to me.
Don't make no sense.
Don't make no sense. Okay. Well, it looks like Desmond had some top 4 picks. He had Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, and Florida State coming in for his top 4. So, clown alert.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even want to talk about, bro. I don't even want to give him up.
Well, Cam ain't gonna talk about him, but I'm gonna take every chance I can to fry this dude up, bro. This dude got to be the biggest clown on ESPN, and to be honest, I think it's really sad. David Pollack was on this show on and you get rid of him, who actually knows ball, talks ball, gives a legitimate top 4 and things like that. Don't give this dog and pony show crap, bro. Like, this is the reason why I don't watch game day anymore. My wife would tell you, I'd wake up faithfully at like 7:30, 7:45 instead of sleeping in just to turn on College Game Day. We'll have it recorded and everything. No, I wait for big noon kickoff now. I don't even deal with them because it's a trash product that they're putting out there, and he's the biggest clown of them all. Remember last year when he had Texas A&M as one of his final playoff teams? Like, let's be for real, bro. Like, this dude does not watch ball. He don't watch film. He's just there to be a clown.
All right. And so
yeah, I mean, he basically said the two teams with the worst strength of schedules should be my top 2 teams. Fuck out of here, man. Come on.
Yeah, he definitely had Pitt last year, and I was talking to Mike about that because I was definitely confused. I was like, what was he thinking? Where did that come from?
Bro, he's off the hand.
I told y'all, Doug in my house somewhere, bro. Doug, I'm gonna find you.
Yep, definitely do. All right, let's keep it going. We're gonna talk about some Week 10 matchups. We got LSU and Bama, Missouri and Georgia, Washington and USC. So getting into it first, it looks like LSU will take on Bama this upcoming Saturday for basically last year we saw these two teams have this matchup down in Louisiana, and LSU walked in overtime with that 1 point. So will we see the same thing this year? The Tigers own 2 losses in 8 games thanks to their defensive struggles. So and Bama's not really looking too good on the offense as well. So I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Defense and offense coming to play from opposite teams. Mike, what are you looking forward to seeing in this game? Do you think that Bama has actually turned the corner and hit the stride for the rest of the season?
I do believe that Bama is like I've always said from the beginning of the show, when do you want to be playing your best ball? In November. And Bama, to me, has kind of took those strides in doing that. Yes, they had a close game in Arkansas, but look at how they bounced back the following week, right? Also, just taking into account, bro, like Nick Saban, the talent that they have, they were at home at LSU. They had the crowd. Brian Kelly in big games, I just can't pick them. I don't think I picked them last year either, but I'm not going 2 in a row. I'm not going to pick them. No, I'm not picking LSU. Give me Bama. I really think that defense for Bama and what you saw, especially late in the games, that O-line gets after the quarterback and they start making plays that just puts the game completely out of hand. And to be honest, that's what Nick Saban loves doing. He loves living off of that defense to make plays, and they're legit. And I'm not sure that Jaden Daniels isn't going to make some of the mistakes that we've seen him make. So we'll see.
Cam, who you got for this?
I got Alabama making a playoff. So, but to win this game, they have to control the line of scrimmage on offense and slow the game down and not give Jaden Daniels too many possessions on offense, because that wide receiver core is very, very prominent and can score quickly. They have a lot of big playability with that wide receiver core. So I think if they could just keep it into like a phone booth type of game, let Jalen Milroe get in rhythm, do what he does, work off play action, run the ball, have a more balanced attack, and then make LSU make their drives count against them, make LSU execute every time they have the ball. I think that Alabama could come out and win. But if this turns out to another shootout situation, I don't think that benefits Alabama against the LSU offense at this moment.
I can agree with that.
I can definitely agree with that. I think LSU is ranking number 1 in scoring and 3rd in passing yardage.
Yeah, that's what they live for. They love getting in the shootout and just going gung ho. Make them have meaningful drives and execute by taking control of the line of scrimmage on offense.
Yeah, expect Bama. Bama wins this game. They will definitely control time of possession for sure.
For sure. Coach Saban knows to work that clock for sure. Yeah, but I can't see them dropping the ball on this one. And then continuing in the SEC, Missouri will be the first of 3 straight top 15 matchups for the Bulldogs. So we're actually about to get into some top plays for them. But how dangerous is Missouri? We'll see. I know Georgia. I know last year I think they came pretty close when the Tigers almost had an upset at home, but the Bulldogs did what they did best and found a way to win down the stretch. So I believe that the Tigers can possibly challenge Georgia in this matchup. Mike, what's your take on this?
Yeah, so Mizzou kind of did a flip-flop this year. So like last year, they weren't really bad on defense. They just didn't really have a quarterback to help them win that game like against a Georgia. This year, they have that quarterback, but I don't think that they really have that are that good on defense, to be honest with you. I really don't. And then I just feel like right now, Georgia's hitting their stride. I know a lot of people are calling this a trap game, but Georgia's at home. They're hitting their stride. They're figuring out their identity. That run game is also, like I said earlier, is getting better and looks a whole lot better. So definitely give me Georgia for the win in this, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. They got game changers on the outside at wide receiver.
You want it to be an upset. You can't want to pick the upset.
I mean, I don't think that Georgia's that great. So that's why it's like, and we haven't seen them play anybody. But I don't know, man. This Missouri team just, I don't know how to take them, bro. Because, excuse me, I watched them play one week and are dominant. They're very balanced attack. They average almost 150 a game, and then they average a little bit under 300 yards passing a game. Mm-hmm. So I think they have the ability to like make this game interesting. But what always happens in these situations with Georgia is that they always have enough depth late in the game to just get those Herculean performances and pass rushes out in the clutch that results in a turnover, and they get the timely drives and scored late and put teams away like this with their depth. They're one of the best teams in the nation at using their talent from top of the roster, bottom of the roster in very clutch situations. Like you always see their defense fresh and somebody making a play. You're like, who the hell is that? And he's just happened to be in a game at a fresh moment where Kirby just needs some juice off the edge, or there's a DB that's in there. There's you know what I mean? Like they're just a very well coached team that finishes the fuck out of games. And I just don't think that Mizzou got the horses to go for 4 quarters. I think they make it interesting for 3.5. But I think Georgia pulls away a little late and covers. So I got the Bulldogs.
Dang, and the cover. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's major. Yeah. For our last matchup, we're going to take it to the Pac-12. We got Washington at USC. Washington travels to LA for a showdown. So I feel like the last couple of games for for USC has been nail-biting to the last and final minute of really determining the winner. I feel like it's going to be the same thing coming into this game. But I feel like this will be a definitely Caleb Williams, Michael Penix show. Like I feel like we're going to see we're gonna see the way I'm about to phrase this. Balls shooting down all game. So I think this is going to be a very good matchup between the Pac-12 and then I know was it Cam or somebody saying earlier this year the Pac-12 is just going to continue to crumble on top of each other and knock each other out of the race. So, but again, this is going to be a blockbuster event, so I will definitely have my popcorn and I'll be tuned in to see who you think is going to get the most yardage. Cam, what's your thoughts on this? What's your take? I know you're a Caleb fan.
I got Washington winning this game. USC don't got no defense. Caleb Williams is not the guy that y'all made him to be. He's shown that he can be disinterested in games and just kind of go out there and go through the motions. Washington has a very solid pass rush, and I think they're just going to kind of abuse this USC defense and get up on a lead early and then and pull away. I mean, it's going to be fireworks early. Caleb Williams going to make plays, but that USC defense can't stop a nosebleed. And I don't think Caleb Williams is the winner that Michael Penix is, and I think that he's going to do what we've seen him do a lot, which is fold in games like this. So give me Washington.
Yeah, I'm not picking no Alex Grinch defense. I've seen it too many times, bro. I've seen it at Ohio State in 2018, seen it when he went to OU with Lincoln Riley, and seen how the defense is trash now at USC. I mean, I hope they keep him, bring him to the Big Ten. I would love to see that. But, yeah, I just think Washington, the way Michael Penix is, this team is still fired up. They're still hungry. USC, no, they ain't really fighting for nothing. Maybe a conference title, but I don't even think that they'll get that either. Yeah, just give me Washington. I honestly want to say both of these teams' defenses aren't really that good. We watched what Stanford did to Washington, but I would trust Washington's defense, and I will put money on Washington's defense before I ever put money on USC's defense. So
absolutely, just Harbaugh.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Michael Penix, man, from the Big Ten, man. Go take that shit over, bro.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Well, that's what we got for tonight. Mike, before we go, do you want to get something off your chest? Do you want to get your lies off for the next couple of minutes? Do you get any final takes for me?
Man, we kind of didn't really talk about Ohio State, so I'm gonna get some lies off, man. Going to be about my Buckeyes. Dang, I don't know what to really say. They go up against Rutgers this week. You will not see Devin Brown in this game, I don't believe. You'll have to wait a week to see him. But I don't know. Everybody's telling me that Kyle's game wasn't as bad as it was. So if I'm going to go off of that, let's just say the Ohio State offense actually shows up for the first time this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I am.
Mike,
I was on one. I had been sitting at work in my office cooking the whole time.
So you think that one of the better defenses that we see this so far this year, you think that this is the game that we come out and everything clicks for our offense?
It better. If not, bro, this team is cooked, bro. I'm sorry, but if not, this team is cooked. And the best analogy that I heard was like our quarterback's like a 5,000-pound anchor attached to a speedboat.
Yeah, that anchor. I don't know if Kyle weighs 5,000 pounds, but I heard that there was a big red 6 spray painted on that anchor attached to the back of that speedboat. But my lies, y'all want some lies?
Go ahead, Cam.
Give me Buckeyes in Ann Arbor. Give me that.
Ooh.
Give me Buckeyes in Ann Arbor. I think we touched them boys this year, man. That's what I'm standing on.
I don't like the record.
Go ahead and put that on the record.
Put it on the
record. I just don't see. I've watched that game that we had last year. I just don't see the production on offense for them to be able to fuck with us when Jim Knowles is cooking shit up. They don't got the horses. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got the horses on offense, bro. So I'm going to just put that shit on a record ASAP right now. And Ryan Day coming in there with some shit cooked up. And be surprised. I mean, we'll see who's starting in that game. You know what I mean? It might be Himothy season, a.k.a. DB33. We don't know who's starting in that game. You know what I'm saying? Her boys is eating sensu beans and shit in that Woody right now. So, you know what I'm saying? You never know, man. It might be it might be the new look Buckeyes by then. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm real confident. But I want to give y'all my playoff picks right now. Since the first week came out, I'm going to give y'all my playoff picks. I think we're going to make it. I think I got Alabama making it. I have Oregon making it. And I got to go. I'm going to go with Texas.
Ooh. ACC left out the playoffs.
I'm going to go with Texas. I just trust Texas defense more than I do FSU. And I think that in the long run, that FSU can get caught more than Texas can moving forward.
Wow. That's bold, Cam.
That is bold.
I'm just saying. We've seen FSU.
All right, so they got FSU got Pitt on the schedule. We know they're not gonna beat them.
Mm-hmm.
They got Miami on the schedule.
That's gonna be nice.
And then they got North Alabama. They got a bye week before they play at Florida. So you think it's gonna be the Grand Merch show?
I don't know, man. It's just how I'm feeling. But I mean, you could put Texas and FSU interchangeable. I just think that at that level, at that playoff, I feel like Texas, with their front seven, is more equipped to deal with the equipment on offense that they're going to be running into than FSU. I feel like FSU's defense ain't really. And I like FSU. So FSU, Texas, interchangeable. But I'm just kind of, I don't know. I just feel like Texas can get hot. And you know I hate Texas. I don't like Texas at all. But
I wouldn't say you don't like Texas at all, because there's a little team down there called the Cowgirls that you love.
You a Cowboy fan, Kim? I'm sorry.
How about them, Diz? Yeah, but that's just my hot take, man. Get us out of here. What's yours, Diz?
Yeah, you gotta have one, Diz.
My hot take?
Yeah.
Tell us a lot.
Let's see. Look, Tennessee plays UConn this weekend. It's gonna be up and stuck. So I'm ready. I'm just really looking for it for 11-11. So we'll see what happens. Or I'm sorry, 11-18. We'll see when they play Georgia. So
y'all got a bye week?
No, we play in Missouri the week after UConn. We play Missouri on 11-11. And then we play Georgia.
You said this week y'all got a bye week?
No, we play UConn this week.
That's a bye week. That's right.
Wait, yeah, you're right. Sorry, my bad. I'm like, what day is it? I was like, what? No,
okay, you got to me any G5 school that you play especially during the season, like in the middle of the season, that's a bye week to me, bro.
That's not
like
a bye
FSU
week.
having North Alabama on there, that's a bye week.
I'm a Tennessee fan. You never know what happened. It ain't a bye week. This is a game to us. So no. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I was like, no, we playing this week, bro. But yeah,
I saw your face. That's why I bust out laughing.
Yeah.
Let me stop tripping, man. I'm gonna let y'all know where y'all can find me, man. Y'all can find me on Twitter or Instagram at 216_wildboy. Catch me in the spaces. Catch me on the timeline. Also check us out in the Discord. Mark Rogers, voice of college football, Ohio State. We will be there game time after the post game for the Ohio State game. We will be live right after the game. Also, you can catch the flagship show, Buckeye BS, every Sunday at what time is that? 10 o'clock.
10
Eastern
a.m.
time. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Eastern.
I'm gonna always get these times messed up telling y'all because Central and Eastern. So
hey, you can catch me at I Know Things 19 on Twitter. Also, you can catch me right here on the Fans Edge every Wednesday at 7:30. Also, I think I might make an appearance one of these Saturdays on the pregame show on Saturday. You'll catch Brian, Chris, Drew, Mike being there sometime. Diz may pull up. Who knows on the Saturday show? Hell, man, one of y'all can show up to the Saturday show. That's more of a just
big fact.
Fuck it vibe. We just in there kicking there, talking football, not listening to Desmond Howard's bullshit. So pull up to that. So hey, appreciate everybody coming and enjoy your night.
And as for me, you can follow me at Walt K Disney on all social media. And if you ever want to join the show, or if you have ideas or topics that you would like for us to talk about, just go ahead and slide in those DMs and send it to us. We would love to have you on the show as a guest. You don't have to stay here for a whole time, just a second. And with that, go ahead and use that like and follow, subscribe button. That way you are tuned in to everything that's coming to you weekly with the best damn media. And I believe if we don't have anything else, we're out. Same time next week, people. Peace.
Don't be late.